Senator Hagerty.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and congratulations to all of our nominees who are here today. I can think of no greater honor than to represent the greatest nation in the world in the countries that you're seeking to represent the United States of America. I'd like to start with you, Mrs. Bond, on the first question, to talk about the Chinese Communist Party and its interference, its malign influence in the Western Hemisphere has grown significantly. Clearly, it's become more visible in the past decade. Beijing is using its predatory economic behavior to target the region for its commodities and its raw materials. That's the target. I believe we should be doing everything we can to reshore our supply chains back to the United States from China, and as appropriate, to nearshore supply chains to friendly countries like those in the Caribbean and in Latin America. Efforts to support private sector investments in emerging markets are especially critical at this time of strategic global competition with China. And as the United States reshores its supply chains, this will create big nearshoring opportunities for our friends in this hemisphere. So I wanted to get your perspective, Ms. Bond, on China's diplomatic and economic engagement in Trinidad and Tobago and how you see that unfolding and the posture you might adopt there.
Thank you, Senator, for that question. Indeed, PRNC incursions are happening all over the world, and the Caribbean is no exception, nor Trinidad and Tobago. They were one of the first to join the Road and Belt initiatives. However, if confirmed as ambassador, I will do everything in my power to ensure that we are positioned to be the partner of choice to Trinidad and Tobago. I would be a strong advocate for private sector investment and continue our strong our work with Trinidad and Tobago, particularly in safety and security and creating a more level playing field for private investment and U.S. investment in the country. United States has been and continues to be one of Trinidad and Tobago's largest markets for LNG exports. It is 7th in the world in terms of LNG exports, and it has one of the largest gas liquefaction facilities in the Western Hemisphere, with a great deal of institutional knowledge, which I think they can share regionally. It is also one of the top exporters of urea, ammonium nitrate fertilizer. And just last week, the U.S. International Trade Commission approved the import of this fertilizer, which you know will address issues of agricultural production.
Certainly.
As well as assist with global food supplies. So if confirmed, these are areas that I would continue to work on and continue to bolster trade with the United States and our partners.
Well, I encourage you to continue to support stronger energy production here in this hemisphere. We're doing everything in this country to reduce energy production right now, much to my chagrin, but I see the opportunity there, and I'm very pleased to see that you see it as well. In my home state, agriculture is a big industry, and fertilizer prices are a huge issue as well, compressing margins for farmers and leading to what I think will be a food crisis not only here in America but around the world. So thank you for your diligence there, and I will encourage you to cooperate and coordinate with us here as we begin to deepen our reshoring efforts, because I do believe this is a big opportunity in the country that you seek to represent. Mr. Rodriguez, can I turn to you? If you're confirmed, you're going to be taking on a challenging assignment in the Western Hemisphere. Both the Trump administration and the Biden administration have imposed numerous financial sanctions against members of the Nicaraguan government, their legislature, their judiciary, and President Ortega's family. In December of 2021, Nicaragua reestablished diplomatic ties with China and seized control of Taiwan's embassy and diplomatic offices, saying that they belonged to China. The Ortega regime provided Taiwanese diplomats only 2 weeks to leave Nicaragua. Subsequently, the Nicaraguan government signed a cooperation agreement for China's Belt and Road Initiative that took place in January of 2022. In June of 2022, the Ortega regime and its rubber-stamped Congress authorized a limited number of Russian troops, Russian aircraft and ships and weapons to operate on Nicaraguan soil. This seems to be a renewal and expansion of the November 2021 authorization for Russian forces to operate there in the country. So, Mr. Rodriguez, in your view, what's the most concerning aspect of Nicaragua as it relates to U.S. national security?
Thank you, Senator. Their relationships with both of the countries you mentioned are deeply, deeply concerning. The decision by the government of Nicaragua to leave off recognition of Taiwan in favor of the PRC was deeply lamentable. The government is depriving the Nicaraguan citizens of a reliably democratic partner in favor of opacity and self-dealing, which is entirely in line with what the government of Nicaragua has been about since 2018. Their slide toward authoritarianism and away from transparency and rule of law are deeply concerning. With respect to Russia, Senator, they're clearly following the Russian playbook. Mm-hmm. And with support and guidance from Russia, they are drafting and implementing laws. In fact, the foreign agents law in Nicaragua is known locally as Putin's law. So there is clearly deep influence from Russia. If confirmed, I believe we need to very loudly stand with the Nicaraguan people against anyone who is aligned with Russia or China in stifling the democratic aspirations of the people of Nicaragua and abusing and taking from them their human rights.
Well said.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll submit the rest of my questions for the record.
Thank you, Senator.